So I would just like to welcome Jenny. I met Jenny just after lockdown, actually. I was supposed to do a access bars class, and I've been looking for access bars for about 5 years because it is the most beautiful therapy, if you want to call it, where there's 32 touch points on the head. And when my first experience happened, I've got such a busy mind, and I lay on the table, and when my friend started doing her work on my head, everything in my mind just stopped dead, and I couldn't even think of anything to think about. So that blew me away, and I always wanted to learn it, but I didn't know how to find it because I didn't know at that stage it was called access bars, and it was part of something called access consciousness. So I was at a meditation one Sunday, and during the break, they were talking about the agenda for the rest of the month at this place. And I heard them say, Jenny's going to be doing bars. And I was like, what, where, how, who? And it was actually scheduled for the 2nd of April, 2020. And of course, 5 days before that, we got locked down. We weren't allowed to touch, see, hug anyone. So that kind of got tossed out of the window. And as soon as lockdown kind of ended and we were allowed to go out and see people, Jenny let me know on the 11th of July that access bars was going to be happening. And I absolutely jumped at the opportunity. And I still remember arriving there thinking, oh my gosh, is everyone going to be wearing masks now? Like, are we going to be doing healing on each other wearing masks? And I walked in and no one was wearing masks. There was absolutely no fear. It was all about healing. And that was the 11th of July, 2020. Since then, she's appeared a few times on our Motivation Mondays because she just has so much to share. She's also an empowerment coach and an access consciousness facilitator, which is a lot of work, let me tell you. Like, I sometimes look at Jenny and think, I don't know, what are the possibilities I'm ever going to get there? She also does access bars, and she facilitates energetic facelift classes, as well as being a conscious horse, conscious rider facilitator. And somebody actually mentioned to me from Gift of Legacy that they did a conscious horse, conscious rider with Jenny before Gift of Legacy was even a thing. She also does energetic synthesis of structural embodiment. And then she's got her own unique course, which you don't need to have any prerequisites for, which is called Keys to Unlocking You. And I think you've got one coming up in Joburg, either August or September, so we can discuss dates later.
Yeah.
But she works with the access tools. She is the example that you wish to see in the world. She trains practitioners and has created her own courses. And she's also got an extensive background in the corporate industry and financial institutions. And she's also studied body talk up to the Parama level, which was, and she was a breakthrough facilitator as well. She also comes from the network marketing world as well. So she did Amway, and then of course Network 21, which apparently gives the most incredible training. So without any further ado, let me welcome someone that's not only an incredible facilitator to me in my life, but she's also become a very good friend. So welcome, Jenny. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Cool. So good evening, everyone. So when Candace pinged me today to ask if I was available, I love doing this kind of work. So I immediately said yes. Hold on, I need to just change there we go, that's better. I get this big photograph of myself in front of me. I'm going, that feels a little weird. This is like, how comfortable are you seeing yourself in big screen? Well, maybe I need to do some more work on that. Anyway, so we were having a chat about what topic we could chat to this evening, and we were looking at the concept of leadership. There's obviously a lot of different courses and training on leadership out there. So you really got to look at what is going to work for you and what is your style. But I love the access consciousness approach to leadership because it's very much about empowering you to know that you know. And the more you are empowered, the more you can empower others. So that's a concept that I enjoy. I've come from a long corporate background where it was very much about force and control and motivation and kind of leading you on in a way of, if you do this, you'll get this, a very transactional type reality. And then you get to the end of the end of the year or whatever, and then they move the goalposts. Don't you love corporate language? Then the goalposts move. And then the things that you thought that you were going to get done actually happen. So it was a very frustrating time for me in corporate from that perspective, that it was expected to motivate people to do something that they didn't really want to do. They were only doing it for money, and there was never a natural enthusiasm really for what they were doing in the kind of corporate space that I was in. I'm not saying that's the same for all corporate industries, but for mine, that was pretty much how it went. So when I chose to move out of corporate full-time and do Access Consciousness full-time, it was like, it's quite a transition to move from being self-employed into, moving from being employed into self-employed. There's a different type of discipline required when you have your own business. When you're employed, you get up, you go to work, you know that if you go to work, you're going to get your salary most of the time. When there's something happens, it's, wasn't expected. But when you become self-employed, you've got to recognize that actually your business is your life and your life is your business. Now, it's not about being so obsessed with your business that it takes over your life. That's not what we're talking about. It's about being in business, being in your life. So that's what we would like to chat to about today, because gift of legacy or whatever income streams or businesses or jobs that you have are all about the business of your life. And how do you lead yourself through that with a natural enthusiasm without having to drag yourself through the day? So the first thing I would suggest is look at what it is that you're doing for your income streams, and are they things that you love? Because if it brings you joy, and if it's something that you love, you will have a lot more ease with whatever it is you're doing in the day. So if at least 80%, one of my facilitator friends has said, if 80% of what you're doing in the day is not bringing you joy, you perhaps maybe have to change something a little bit. Now, the thing is that we get very programmed into ways of living. So it's like, oh, well, if you've got a job, you must be grateful you've got a job, because, if you leave, there's not many jobs available. And when you get psyched out like that, you believe that that's true, and then you get sucked into doing something you don't really want to do, because you've bought into the belief that if you leave, you're not going to find another job. Now, what if that's not true? What if your point of view is creating your reality? What if, and I've said this before in my previous talks, but I'm going to say it again, because, when this penny drops, it's life-changing. When you truly get to understand that your points of view and your beliefs are creating your reality, then you get to realize that, oh, okay, it's not this reality creating my point of view. It's actually the point of view that I've bought into that's creating my reality. And as soon as you really get that, you can change anything, because you can just give up the point of view or give up the belief that you have. And then you can start asking different questions so that you can create the life you truly would like to have. So leadership is very much about how you are leading yourself in your life, how you're leading yourself with your business, how you're leading yourself with your jobs. Because as you empower yourself, so you empower others. As you lead yourself, so you can lead others. And it's really about engaging people in a way that they really enjoy what they're doing. So there's a natural enthusiasm for everything, because otherwise you are going to be having to motivate people continuously into doing something. And when you go from a motivation perspective, it doesn't last. You'll motivate and do the rah rah, and this is so great, and off we go, and you go home and the cat pukes on the carpet and the child is sick, and there goes your rah rah motivation out the window. And it doesn't take long. You don't even have to sleep on it. It's like done. You're home and it's over. But if you have that natural enthusiasm because you truly love what you're doing during the day, you won't lose your enthusiasm. It doesn't matter what's going on. You will always have that natural enthusiasm within you. So one of the questions you can ask yourself is, what I'm doing on a daily basis something that I truly enjoy doing and that I love? And if you get a no on that, don't make it wrong. It's not about finding anything wrong with anything that you're doing right now. It's about what is not working for me and what would I like to change. And then you ask, okay, so what would I like my life to be like? What would I like to be doing in my day? And write those things down. It can be anything from, I'd like to be having more fun. I would like to be engaging with creative people. I would like to be earning this amount of money per month. I would like to be working from home. I'd like to be working in an office. I would like to be working in a coffee shop. I want to be able to work remotely anywhere around the world. Write these different ideas down, because what happens is when you write things down, you are opening the doors to the universe, whatever your language is. It doesn't have to be the universe. I use the universe, but you open the doors to the universe being able to bring things to you, because here's how the universe works. It's an ask and receive universe. If you don't ask, you can't receive. We have not been taught to ask. We have been taught that this reality, you have to overcome whatever this reality throws at you. And that's not true. And it's like kind of like, if I can just get through today, then maybe tomorrow will be better. But if you're not changing what's happening today, you're going to have the same tomorrow as you had today. Now, the beauty of being in the question is you can change your tomorrows, because every question that you're asking is opening up a new doorway to other possibilities. And when you ask questions from the Access Consciousness perspective, you ask questions for awareness, you ask questions for something to show up for you, you ask questions to receive possibilities. It's not ask questions for an answer. You don't want to have an answer for anything, because that just brings up conclusions and answers, and those things are disempowering, because you can lock yourself into only one way of something showing up. And when you lock yourself into a conclusion or an answer, then you have to do force and control to get that thing to show up for you. And when you're doing force and control, you take the joy out of your day. So what if you can be in the question all the time and you can say, okay, what will it take? So if you don't know how something's going to show up, your question is, what will it take for this to show up? Whatever it is you're asking for. So if you're asking for more money, what will it take for this amount of money to show up? What will it take for a new car to show up? What will it take for a new job to show up? What will it take for new income streams to show up? And this is how you start leading your life, because you are being control of your life by the questions that you're asking, by the possibilities that are showing up, by the choices that you're making, and by being willing to receive the contribution from the universe, and also being the energy of the contribution yourself. So who can I contribute today? What contribution can I be today? What contribution can I be to the earth today? What contribution can I be to our future today? You don't have to have answers. It's about being in the energy of what you would like to create. It's all about working energetically. We have not been taught to work energetically or consciously. We have been taught to work from the mind of conclusions, the mind of decisions, the mind of judgments, all those things that make up all that limitation is the way that this reality has controlled us. But what if now you can get out of that control by being in the question? And the beauty of the questions just open up so many different things. So here's some examples of some questions. What is required of me today? Who can I talk to today? Who or what can I add to my life today? What else is possible that I've never considered before? What invitation can I be? Who is looking for me and my business? Who is looking for me? Who's looking for gift of legacy? Who is looking for me and doesn't know it yet? And when you just be in the energy of those questions without doing the mind thing, you don't have to think about any answers. You just carry on with your day. You will be surprised at the different things that show up for you. This is leading your life, because you are now choosing. You are now in charge. You are the lead actor of your play, so to speak. Now, of course, your reality is interacting with everybody else's realities, but you don't have to take on other people's realities. So when people are saying to you, you have to make people do something, you have to motivate them, you have to do this, you have to do that, anything through the energy of force and control, most people don't like being controlled. If you have a look at your life, do you enjoy being controlled by someone? Do you like being told what to do? Probably not. Most of us are not really good at being told what to do. But if you can lead people, if you can engage with people, if you can be the invitation with people, if you can have that natural enthusiasm for everything that you are doing and everything you're creating and everything you're generating, you will lead people to where they would like to go with a lot more ease. So all the definitions that you have of what leadership is and what leadership isn't, will you destroy and uncreate that? And when you say destroy and uncreate it, just let it go, choose to let it go. It's like, okay, what if I didn't have any definition of leadership? What if I can bring out what I know about leadership? How would I like to be led? You can ask that question too. How would I like to be led? And then be that with others. Because if you know that you don't like being bossed around or told what to do, you know that you can be something different with the people that you're leading. So whether it's in this business or a different business, it doesn't matter. What else? You can also ask, how can I empower people today in a way that it's never been done before? And again, you don't need to know the answer. You will just, those energies of what's required in that moment will magically show up because you're being in the moment, and the possibilities will show up. You'll be surprised at what actually shows up. When I was still in corporate and I never had time to read all the meeting notes and everything else, probably because I found them too boring, but I would because I was learning to live in the question, I would go, okay, what do I need to know? And I'd be going from one meeting to the other, and somebody would walk past me on the stairs or whatever, give me some information about something that I would need in the meeting that I was going to, which was like magic, because then I'd look like I really knew what I was doing without having to read all the meeting notes. But if you can be in a question like that, you'll be surprised at what information comes to you just at the time when you require it. It's pretty cool fun. Okay. So also from a book, one of the Access Consciousness books, an unconscious manager goes around thinking everything is wrong and waiting for disaster to occur. How much are we going through our lives waiting for disaster to occur? How much are we getting up in the morning? How many times do we wake up in the morning? Okay, what problem do I have to solve? What if your life isn't a problem to solve? What if your life is a possibility to experience? So everything not allowing you to let go of the problem to solve, will you destroy and uncreate that? And you can just say yes in your head, choose to let it go, and it can be gone. An anti-conscious manager micromanages, makes everyone do what they want when they want them to do it, and is constantly on everybody about what they are doing. Are any of you micromanaging your life? How many of you are micromanaging your life? How many of you are making yourself so wrong in order to try and motivate yourselves that if you didn't make yourself wrong, that you could have way more fun and way more ease and way more joy, and you would find that you would get through all the different things that needed to be done, and you wouldn't even notice really that it was any effort. If you notice that you're doing force, effort, and control on something, you've got to look at what am I missing here? How can I create this as more fun? How can I bring more joy into this? Because you can add joy, the energy of joy, to making your bed. You can add joy to the energy of joy to brushing your teeth. You can add the energy of joy to anything that you're doing. Because yes, there are sometimes things that we have to do that we don't really like doing. But what if you can just ask for the energy of joy to be added to whatever it is you're doing? What if you can add the energy of joy and ease to leading others? What if you can be in the question with everyone? What if you can empower everyone with questions and you don't have to keep on telling them what to do? Because if you keep telling people what to do, you have to keep on motivating and telling them what to do. So courage and leadership. So it takes courage to lead. How many of us are not leading our lives because we've decided, for instance, it's too difficult and too hard? If I ask you, are you an infinite, energetic, conscious being, even if it doesn't seem like it in this 10 seconds, if there's a slight ping and a slight lightness to that, what if, I've lost what I was saying, the train left, poof, it went away, 2 seconds. Candace, help me, what was I saying? Oh, courage. going, what was I talking about? I was like, where did that go? When in your life did you lose your courage? What happened to you, so-called happened to you, that you lost your courage? What happened to you that you lost your faith and your trust in yourself? What happened to you where you decided you were so wrong? And all those moments, will you just consciously, even though you don't cognitively remember them all, just consciously go pick them up energetically and destroy and uncreate all the decisions you made about yourself in those moments, because it was just a moment, and that moment is now over. And that moment, you don't have to keep on bringing those moments into your future, because otherwise you're creating your future based on your past. What if you don't have to do that? What if you can lead yourself into the future with a brand new blank slate every single day? So what if you don't bring wrongness into your day? What if you don't wake up trying to solve a problem every single morning? What if you wake up going, what else is possible? My life comes to me, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. And what if you can live from a space of possibilities rather than the place of problems? And if you are leading anyone trying to find the problem to solve, what will happen is you can only have the problems, because remember, your mind is going to lock you in to that. Is like, I've got to solve the problem. I've got to solve the problem in order to motivate these people. I've got to figure out what's wrong so we can make it right, so that we can move on. But what if you can do it totally differently? What if you can just do it from the space of possibilities, and that you don't have to fix any problems? Because a thing is only a problem if you've decided it's a problem. What if that area that you've decided is a problem is actually a space of possibility for something else to open up, and it's just saying to you, hey, this isn't working so well. What if we can do something different? And you can ask, what can I be or do different here that will create a different outcome and a different possibility? Rather than looking at it, rather than concluding that it's a problem to solve. Do you get a sense that it opens up things more energetically to something different being able to occur? If you keep on solving problems, you're going to have to keep on creating problems, because remember, your point of view creates your reality. If you've decided that life is a series of problems to solve, instead of a series of possibilities to experience, all you will do is get problems. So everywhere you've decided, judged, concluded, or computed that your life is just a series of problems to solve, will you now destroy and uncreate that? And if you say yes, your choice will let it go. Cool. So everywhere you decided you're not courageous and you are, everywhere you've decided you're not a leader and you are, will you destroy and uncreate that? Everything you've decided leadership and courage is that it isn't, will you destroy and uncreate that? Because if you've got any kind of definitions or decisions or conclusions about anything, you can't see any possibilities wider of that, because the mind will only give you what you've decided, judged, or concluded. So if you let that go and open up to what else is possible here, what if I am a leader? What if I am courageous? What if you can remember all those times you were courageous? Because there's going to be lots of times where you were courageous. If you would get out of judging yourself as being wrong on anything, you will see a lot of different things about yourself that you hadn't acknowledged before. So if you'd be willing to get out of the wrongness of you, if you'd be willing to give up all the problems, you will notice a space will open up for you that you've never experienced before, perhaps in this lifetime. Cool. Let's see, is there any questions in the chat? I like questions.
Yeah, so the way that Jenny loves to work is, if anybody in the audience has got a question, even if it sounds silly to yourself, it's like making yourself wrong again, you're more than welcome to ask it, because 9 times out of 10, there's a vast majority of the people that are in the audience that are thinking the same thing. And when the question is asked, it opens up a huge space that Jenny can facilitate and really help to let go of a lot of stuff that we're holding on to. So while I'm waiting for a question, I'll just say, you know, when I first started this asking questions, the way that we've been trained is automatically you want to answer the question. So like, what else is possible? And then you'll start thinking about what else could be possible. So the main thing is to just let go of the answer. And when you're asking the question, and I mean, it could be anything, who am I and what am I supposed to be doing here? Instead of your mind trying to answer the question, you just close your eyes and you almost tap into everything that's around you besides the answers. And it's really beautiful when you get the hang of it and you're not trying to answer all these questions. Like if you're having a really bad day, what do most of us say? Oh, can it get any worse? Or I don't even know what people say anymore, because I've trained myself to say, how does it get better than this? No matter what, if I'm having a crappy day, if I'm having a good day, I constantly say, how does it get any better? When I'm receiving a gift on GL, I say, how does it get any better? And then I let it go, because it's not about answering the question. It's about opening yourself up to invite more possibilities.
Yeah. So thank you, Candace. So if you have a look at, I mean, we obviously can't see the universe, but if you kind of get a sense of the universe, and even if you don't have a conscious awareness of this yet, people say that there's abundance and infinite possibilities available for everyone. Have you actually pondered that? Have you actually considered what that means? That means that you, as an infinite energetic conscious being, are here right now in this body on this planet, and that you have access to infinite possibilities. The reason why you haven't experienced it up until now, because you've never been taught to ask. And the universe works on ask and receive. So if you haven't asked for something, the universe can't contribute to you. If we are infinite energetic conscious beings in a universe of infinite possibilities, I don't think that we were meant to be limited. I don't think we were supposed to be running around in a reality of poverty and struggle with money and struggle with life and struggle with relationships. This is like really about how much greater can your life get every single day, and you're asking to outcreate yourself every single day. So if you're asking to outcreate yourself every single day, it's about being willing to be more of you and have less judgment of you, and stop making yourself wrong. It's like reducing the amount of wrongness that you have of you in your life, and to be more of you without that judgment. And if you ask that every single day, you will wake up to more of you every single day. You will raise your level of consciousness every single day by asking, what can I be and do today to outcreate myself today? And don't do it from I messed up yesterday, or it was so bad yesterday, or, that didn't go so well, or whatever. That's judgment. If you do judgment, you cannot create something greater from that place, because judgment energy is very destructive. And I don't know if you've noticed that the more you judge yourself, the more you go down the rabbit hole. I've never met anybody so far that has tried to judge themselves into a better version of themselves and been happier. Haven't met one yet. So it's kind of, if you're willing to stop judging yourself, and your tool for that is interesting point of view. I have this point of view. If you can get really good at using interesting point of view as a tool, it's your gold ticket to freedom, because the more you get out of judgment of yourself, the less you will judge others, the less you will be the effect of other people's judgments of you. So interesting point of view, I have this point of view when you're judging yourself. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view when you catch yourself judging someone else. Interesting point of view, they have this point of view when somebody is judging you. We've been taught to judge. Don't make it wrong. Doesn't matter. I know we think that it hurts, but what if you're an infinite energetic being? Can anything really hurt you? And you're going, oh, possibly not, because an infinite being wouldn't consider judgment as being real for them anyway. So don't make anybody's judgment real. Even if they're buying into the judgment, it still doesn't make it real for you. And if you just keep on using interesting point of view, say it silently in your head, not out loud, because it can be a bit offensive. It's not meant to offend people. It's really a tool to get you out of judgment of yourself. Do you get as well that if you're judging yourself less, is it possible then that you have a greater sense of you as a being? You get a greater sense and have access to your consciousness. You wake up to more of you and raises your level of consciousness. The more you do that, the more you empower you, the more you can lead others, the more you create your life based on the things that work for you. This is how you empower you and empower others, is to really get out of judgment. If you can let go of judgment, you'll be surprised at how much in your life can change. And then the train keeps on leaving the station. What's up with this? I should drink more.
I think you're picking up on what I normally do. I normally forget what I'm saying.
It's like, where was I going with this? I can't remember. Anyway, so leadership and courage. You can have, do you get that if you're out of judgment of yourself, is it possible then you would have more courage? If you're out of judgment of yourself, do you get that it's possible you can lead others? Because you're going to shut yourself down with judgment and making yourself wrong. Then when you're making yourself wrong the whole time, it's going to be really tough for you to lead others too, or even yourself. So everything that's not allowing you, so anywhere you've been taught that judgment is the right way to go, and that judgment is how you make your life better, and judgment is how you create a greater version of yourself, will you please now destroy and uncreate that and let that go? So what if that's not true? What if that's just the programming of the society, how everybody's been brought up? And what if it's not true? I mean, if you kind of look at what's going on in this reality right now, there's a few things that are going on that's probably not really true, but we're being gaslighted a little bit, or, you know, being manipulated a little bit or whatever. What if judgment is part of that? What if that is a way that we can be controlled? Because you can be controlled if people make you wrong, because it affects your self-esteem. Now, if you get out of allowing people to make you wrong, even if they try, they can't make you wrong unless you allow them to. That's another thing as well. You've got to recognize that nobody can do anything to you. People only do things to you if you allow them to do them to you. And that's also something that we haven't realized. We think that people can have an effect on us. We think that people can control us. We think that people can mess up our lives. It's not true. It's only your thinking and your decision that is allowing that to be true. It's just the point of view. If you let that point of view go, if you let that belief go, and you truly acknowledge that you are the leader of your own life, that you are the creator of your own life, then you will never be the effect of anyone, and you will never be the effect of this reality either. Because your point of view creates your reality. You can create your reality based on the questions that you're asking. And as you practice that and choose that more and more, and you notice how your life changes more and more, and you have way more ease and way more joy with your life, you will see that that's like, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. Nobody can hurt you or get to you, because you're willing to not allow anyone to judge you or make you wrong. So everything is not allowing you to totally 100% give up judgment. Will you please now destroy and uncreate that and let that go? Cool. Now what if every single day you're asking, who am I? With no definition, no identity, no image, no decision, no consideration, no attitude, no belief, no nothing. Who am I? Just ask, who am I? And what grand and glorious adventures can I have today? What if you don't have to have any form or structure to your life? I mean, how bored are you with form and structure now anyway? It's like Groundhog Day, right? Get up, take a shower, go to work, come home, eat, go to bed, get up, take a shower, go to work, come home, eat, go to bed. That's Groundhog Day every single day. How bored are you with Groundhog Day? What if you don't have to do Groundhog Day anymore? What if it's every morning? Who am I, and what grand and glorious adventures can I have today? What if you can add things to your life? Even if you have a job, you can still add other income streams to your life. If you have a business, you can still add other businesses to your life. We're not really geared to just do one thing. And I don't know if you've noticed how bored we get with that now. You know, back in the day, it was like you go to school, you get a good education, you choose your career, and off you go for the next 60 years. And everybody's supposed to be happy. But, you know, by the time you hit 30, you're going, okay, probably by the time you hit 21, you're probably over it. But anyway, you kind of last until you're 30, and then you're really over it. What if it's not wrong to keep on adding things to your life? What if it's not wrong to have multiple income streams? What if it's not wrong to just love having different experiences? What if that's not wrong? What if it's not wrong to keep on asking for something else to show up? We've been told and taught that if you keep on asking for possibilities or something else, you're actually not being grateful. You are never satisfied. And why are you always like jumping from one thing to another? What if that is actually natural for an infinite being? Because why would an infinite being settle for just one thing? When you have a universe full of infinite possibilities, where you can ask and receive, and you can do so many different things with your life. You don't have to do just one thing. So everything not allowing you to be the leader of your life and to create and actualize and generate the life you would truly like to have, and to ignore everybody else's points of view about your life, and to you create yours that works for you, because every single person has a different life and a different experience and a different reality. We are not supposed to live each other's lives. We're not supposed to do everything the same way. Although this reality is trying to control us in the same way, it's not natural for us. This is, we are here to have an experience. How many things can you experience in one day? It doesn't just have to be one thing. You can be doing a lot of things in your day. So everything not allowing you to let go of all the conditioning and the programming of this reality, that you have to do things in a certain way and you have to follow form and structure, will you please let that go now and destroy it and uncreate it? And another thing is also, if you be willing to live out of control. Now, leadership, we think, is all about force and control. But what if leadership is being out of control? Now, I can already pick up everybody's energy going, what the flip? You must be nuts. I spend my whole day controlling myself. And I'm telling you now, if you spend your whole day doing control, because most of us are control freaks and we like the things to be in a certain way, and it's got to show up in a certain way, it's got to be done in a certain way, and people are going to conform to a certain way. You're doing a lot of force and control over your life, but you're doing it through judgment. If you're doing force and control, you're doing it through judgment. You are using judgment to control yourself, and you're using judgment to control others. What if you can give up the judgment? What if you can give up the force and control? What if you can be the control? It's about being. Leadership is all about being, way more than doing. If you're willing to give up the control, then you can be more of you. You have that magic of leadership because you're not trying to do force and control over anyone else. And because you're living from the energies of questions and choices and possibilities and contribution and gratitude, your life unfolds in the most amazing way, where you are genuinely living your best life. You will be living your best life because it's energetic, because it's from that space of being, and it's not the doing and the achievement all the time. So would you be willing to be out of control? And would you be willing to be out of the limitations? Would you be willing to be out of the form and structure? Would you be willing to be out of all the linearity and concentricities that we've been programmed and conditioned with, so that you can live your life from question and possibility? So everything not allowing that, will you destroy and uncreate it and let that go? Cool. So what if leadership is about being you? What if leadership is about empowering you? What if leadership is getting out of judgment? What if leadership is about asking questions? What if leadership is about having way too much fun? What if leadership is about having joy? What if leadership, true leadership, is that you can have that natural enthusiasm for life and living? What if leadership can be, I am having so much fun here on planet Earth. This planet is so amazing. And what else can I add to my life today that will be fun for me? What contribution can I be? How much gratitude can I have? Who can I contribute to? What is the future that I truly desire? That the choices that I'm making today are creating my future. And your future is the next 10 seconds. And your future is now the next 10 seconds. The past is done. The last 10 seconds is over. You have to be willing to give up your past and give up all the limitations and the judgments that you have of the past, so that you can create the future you truly desire. If you're doing it from the past, all you're doing is trying to do correction. And if you're doing it from correction, you're again still doing the judgments. And that's how if your point of view is creating your reality, you're creating a reality based on the past judgments. That's why things don't change for you, because you're bringing the past and just keep recreating and keep recreating that. What if you can have a clean slate every day? Destroy and uncreate everything I was yesterday. Destroy and uncreate my business, everything my business was yesterday. Destroy and uncreate all my relationships. Every day you're in a clean slate. You're not bringing through any judgments from yesterday. You're not bringing any projections and expectations in from yesterday. Every day is brand new. Who am I and what grand and glorious adventures can I have today? This is how you lead your life. This is how you create your life. This is how you empower yourself. Judgment is not empowering. It's disempowering. It's destructive. And it just takes you down a rabbit hole and just triggers all kinds of other things. So what if you'd be willing to give up the judgment to empower you to know that you know? Because when you give up the judgments, if you give up all that limiting thoughts, if you give up all those negative thoughts, you can't replace it with positive thoughts. You can't replace the negative with positive because the underlying energy is still negative. You've got a fixed point of view there. You've got to release it, destroy and uncreate it. I destroy and uncreate that and let that go. If you really want to take this further, Access Consciousness has a clearing statement. You can go onto the website and go check out how that works. And that is how you energetically create that neutral space so that you can have that space of possibilities and you can choose greater and choose more. Doing positive practice is just, well, it may work for some people. It never worked for me personally. All it did was solidified everything that I was trying to avoid, everything I was trying to defend, everything I was trying to change. You've got to neutralize that energy, take the charge off, the trigger off those energies so that you can have that neutrality. Cool. So every morning, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. If you say that 10 times, that is the demand you're making of yourself to have ease and joy and glory. As an infinite energetic being, it's not supposed to be hard, difficult, and struggle. Why would an infinite being choose that? An infinite being wouldn't be choosing hard, difficult, and struggle. That's just the programming and conditioning. Give it up. It's not normal or natural for an infinite energetic being. Who am I and what grand and glorious adventures am I going to have today sets the energy for the day. All those questions, what else is possible? How can this work out greater than I can ever imagine beyond my wildest dreams? How does it get better than this? Be in the question all the time, excuse me, that creates the energy, because it's the energy that creates your life and your future. So what energies am I being? So if you're looking at your business and you're getting frustrated with people in your business, or you're getting frustrated with with anything, you can just ask, okay, what will it take for me to give up the judgments on this? Interesting point of view, I have this point of view, because interesting point of view is your tool for judgment. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. And you keep on saying it until that charge goes off your judgment. And then how can this work out greater than I can ever imagine? What contribution can I be? What contribution can I be the people in my team? What contribution can I be to gift of legacy? And you go into question. And then if you live your life from the questions, the possibilities, the contributions. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I'm over talking. So if you live from question, choice, possibility, contribution, that is how you create your future. And every single second, every energy that you're being is creating your future. So if something's not working for you, look at the underlying energy that you're being with something. What is my expectation here? Is it based on choice and question, or is it based on judgment? If it's based on judgment, interesting point of view, I have this point of view, let it go, so that you can be in that space of questions. What else? There's so much more. Thank you. Just getting some water.
One last thing. So I think it's like, actually, I think it's so basic that we sometimes forget about it, but it's a mantra that's like, you know, when you get a song on repeat all the time and it's always in the back of your mind, but a lot of the time it irritates you. This is the opposite. And that is, everything comes into my life with ease, joy, and glory. I wake up in the morning and I say it 10 times. Throughout the day, it's constantly going on in my mind. But they say, and most people, I mean, I was a rescuer, natural rescuer. And every time people come to me with their problems, the first thing I want to do is automatically extend a little bit too much of myself to help them. But one of the best tools, and I've given it to a few people within Gift of Legacy, is everything comes into my life with ease, joy, and glory. You say that 10 times in the morning. I mean, you can say it 30 times, 10 in the morning, 10 at lunch, and 10 in the evening. And I swear you will notice your life will start changing. And even if I'm doing something like standing in a line at the bank or home affairs or something really irritating that's automatically just going to get your back up and make you feel irritated, I just keep saying that over and over and over again. Deb said traffic.
Yeah.
It opens up. The line goes faster, the traffic opens up, and it's such an easy thing to remember.
Yeah. Thank you. Because it's like we think that we don't have control over our lives. So we try and do control, but that's how you be control. By being in the question with everything and with making the demand that all of life comes to you with ease, joy, and glory is how you actually be control of your life and you create your life. And there's one other thing I wanted to talk to. Maybe have I got a couple of more minutes?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, cool. Is that you are the source. You are the source of your life and your living. You are the source. You do not need people. You do not need money. You do not need relationships. You do not need anything. This world has created a neediness and a dependency on everybody, so that you're all going to everybody. Anywhere you go outside of yourself for something, you have put a dependency on someone outside of you. And what I would suggest is you destroy and uncreate that and let that go, and take those things, whatever it is that you've made someone else or something else responsible for, and bring it back to you, because you are the source. You do not need people in your business. You can ask for people to show up. If you're doing anything from neediness, if you're doing money from neediness, if you're doing your businesses from neediness, you're doing your jobs from neediness, your relationships from neediness, you will be the effect of all those things. And what if you don't have to be the effect of all those things? What if it can just be, okay, who is looking for me? Who would like to have a look at GL? Who can I add to my business? And be in the question, because by you asking a question, you are the source. That is your power. And that is how you create your life, is being willing to be in the question. Don't allow yourself to have a dependency on anyone or anything. You're an infinite energetic being. You do not need anything. I know we think we need money, and yes, this reality does require money for us to live, but you don't need money. That energy of neediness is what pushes things away from you, because the energy of neediness is saying to the universe, I don't have. You've got to look at the energy that you're communicating to the universe. And if you think you're needy of anything, I need money, I need this, I need that, from that neediness energy, you're pushing it away. Destroy and uncreate that. Recognize, just like I am the source, what will it take for this to show up with total ease? What will it take for people to show up with ease? What will it take for money to show up with ease? And there's a couple of, oh gosh, now I've been up in a whole another conversation. So quick sticks. First of all, you don't have to do the how. That's the universe's job. The universe does the how. Your job is to ask the question, what will it take for this to show up? The universe will bring it to you and show you the how. It doesn't mean to say you don't have to take action. Of course you have to take action, but you don't have to figure out what that action is. The universe will bring these things to you and go, okay, I've got to email that person. I've got to take that action and take that action, take that action. Also remember, you're taking action by asking the question. That's also part of activating something that you're asking for, is by asking the question. Don't put a timeline on it. Time is a construct that will destroy your creations and whatever it is you're asking for. Because if you do a time thing, what it does is it creates the doubt, and it solidifies the point of view and the expectation that you have that it's not going to happen. You have to let go of all the expectations of how it's going to show up and what it's going to look like. Don't be attached to the result. So you detach yourself from the time, and you detach yourself from what it's going to look like and how it's going to show up, and allow the universe to amaze you. Let the universe show you what it is capable of, because it is it's a universe of infinite possibilities. You've got to stop doing the control, because you can be the control by asking and receiving and be willing to wait. I'm not saying wait and don't take action. That's not what it is. But when you're asking and allowing the universe to contribute to you, the action that's required, you will take very naturally, and there'll be no force or control with it. It will just happen as a natural process. And you will start noticing how your businesses will become more natural. Your life will become more natural. There'll be a total ease and flow to everything. So if you give up the control and know that you're the source, and not have a dependency on anything, and don't have a need of anything, because a need pushes it away, telling the universe you don't have. Your point of view creates your reality. By saying, I need this, you're saying, I don't have it. So the universe can't bring it to you because you didn't ask for it. You told the universe you didn't have it. Watch your languaging. Be very present and aware with what you're thinking. because your thoughts also create your reality. You don't even have to verbalize it. Thoughts have energies too. So always be present and aware with the energy you're being with anything. What energy are you being with your business? What energy are you being with GL? What energy are you being with people? What energy are you being with your relationships? What energy are you being with money? And if it's hard and sticky and solidified and it feels wacky, just destroy and uncreate it. Let it all just be an interesting point of view and go straight into question. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. How can this show up greater than I can ever imagine and beyond my wildest dreams? Cool. So, Candace, I do believe that you have a very nice clip about Dr. Dane here, who's the co-creator of Access Consciousness, about leadership and
I do. So let's finish off with that, because it really, I mean, I think it's a minute and a half, but it puts everything that Jenny said into a tiny little nutshell.
Put a little bow on it.
Amazing.
Okay.
Number 1, a true leader does not function from need. They function from their awareness. What? When you don't function from need, the natural level of creativity of your life comes to the level that is actually true for you. Need kills your creativity. I mean, think about it for a moment. How much does need of money destroy your ability to create money? How much does need of a relationship destroy your joy in your ability to create a relationship? This need thing is a big one. And if you need to be elected, for example, if you need to have power, if you need to be revered, you always need people to see you a certain way. What those needs do is they take you out of presence and question and choice and possibilities. They're a conclusion about how everyone and everything will fulfill what you need in life. But also it leads to you having to create an image of you instead of actually getting to be you. And from my point of view, the biggest aspect of being a leader that creates a different future is truly being you. Now, of course, that means you have to explore what that is, which is one of the reasons I wanted to make this episode, to give you a different perspective, to see what might be true for you. And as always, what's true makes you lighter, a lie makes you heavier. So take only what's light and leave the rest. And realize with consciousness, everything in the universe is a possibility and a probability until a choice is made. That choice is the beginning of actualizing a different future. There's possibility everywhere, my beautiful friends. It's within the air and the molecules around us. It's our point of view that we take, though, and our choice that we make that allows it to show up in a different way. When you function from awareness, you start to recognize, wow, I can move and I can change anything. And that is a glorious place to be.
Love that. It makes everything so practical and easy to apply in your everyday life. Really, really does.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Jenny. That is absolutely amazing. You know, at the beginning of the call, this pen was full, and now it's nearly empty. I'm just like writing it. A lot of nice reminders, beautiful new stuff to learn today. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
Yeah, I'm not going to sleep tonight. It's like my head's going to hamster wheel.
Yeah.
No, just destroy and create all your thoughts, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the point. So you're like, so as an infinite being, if you give up the thoughts, feelings, and emotions, can you function from your knowing, your being, your perceiving, and receiving, the higher harmonics of an infinite being? Yeah. What if you're on a consciousness journey, not an achievement journey?
Goosebumps. So if any of you want to check out Jenny, I've put her phone number in the chat, and then also her website is www.jennycwatkins.com, jennycwatkins.com, and she has a wealth of beautiful things that she shares. And off the top of my head, I know that in Johannesburg, she's got Keys to Unlocking You, which is her speciality class that she's designed herself. And that is on the 17th and 18th of September, if I'm correct in saying. She does a lot of courses, and everything's online as well. So you don't necessarily have to be in South Africa. to come and see her. I, for one, I mean, I'm in Sedgefield and she's in Cape Town, and I try and attend as many of her little workshops as possible. And yeah, I mean, how does it get any better? If I tell you, since I met Jenny in July 2020, my goodness, if I look back, I mean, I was struggling to sell my salon, felt like I was completely stuck, completely miserable, and didn't know any way out. And she shared some amazing tools that helped me just explore incredible possibilities. And looking back, my goodness, it's a totally different life, totally different person.
Yeah, cool. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's always lovely to have you here. And I'm sure this recording is going to be watched over and over again, especially by all the people that were on the call this evening. And yeah, I'm sure we'll have you again really soon. We've got a lot of things that we still need to chat about and plan, because there is so much that we can do for Gift of Legacy, just energetically. You know?
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Awesomeness.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Have a wonderful evening, everybody. And then tomorrow night is the presentation, where if you've got any new people that you'd like to invite to learn about Gift of Legacy, Tim and Petra will be presenting tomorrow. So they are always a dynamic team. And if we don't see you tomorrow, we'll see you on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. But have a wonderful week. And what else is possible? What are the infinite possibilities that we've never even considered before?
Love it, love it, love it. Not guys.
Love you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.